Hello, hello. Welcome to another Me First TV. Welcome. My name is Patricia Ribeiro-Wolfson, and I am a coach and an energy practitioner who helps people simplify transformation through the Me First method, which I developed about 12 years ago and have been using it with my clients and personally to manage challenging times for all this time. And I have to say that it's been quite effective, and that's why I'm here to share it with you, because I want you to have the same tools and tips that you can refer to when you're going through stuff, because why not? Share the wealth and share actual wealth would be even better. So this is informational wealth. That's what I'm sharing with you. I don't know what's wrong with me today, people. Just deal. So if you are watching, please let me know you're here and just say hi. Hello. And I will begin. So I want to talk to you about sort of my personal healing journey. And throughout that time, there were so many moments where I had no idea what to do. I mean, during COVID, when Scott was sick, nobody knew what to do at that time. And then once he was diagnosed, and then, well, even now, there's days that I wake up and I just don't know what to do, you know? And in those really, really intense days, I would feel completely overwhelmed and stressed out and frustrated and completely unable to make decisions, which we all know is analysis paralysis, which I am an expert on analysis paralysis because I'm so analytical that I'll be like, there's 3 million options. There's 3 million things I could look at and from different perspectives. And it just can be really, really overwhelming. So all I could do was fall back on my faith that everything was going to be okay. Right? And that's the one thing that really is the foundation of who I am as a person, and how the lens through which I show up in the world is that my fundamental belief is that everything is going to be okay, right? It's not always okay and it's not always wonderful, but that things really do work out on some level in the end, okay? I believe that it's all part of the experience that we're meant to have. And the other thing was to practice, the other thing that I had and that I could do was to practice using the tools at my disposal to move through the heaviness that I was feeling, right? Especially on those really challenging days. And it's important and appropriate to allow yourself to simply feel the heaviness, right? The heaviness is like the weight of the things that you need to do, of the choices that you need to make, of the actions you know you need to take and are just unclear of how to start or unclear of what the results might be, and that may be causing you anxiety or fear and stopping you from moving, right? And so, all energy, even the heavy stuff, needs to be acknowledged and validated in order for it to be transmuted, right? You have to see it to feel it and to heal it, right? Really, the saying is you have to heal it to feel it. You have to feel it to heal it, right? And I always you have to see it, you have to feel it, and you have to heal it, right? It's acknowledging it, addressing it, and that's the only way that it can move through you and where you can potentially allow it to transform into information or knowledge or, some type of tool that you can put in your toolkit, right? So, So all energy needs to be acknowledged and validated. And if you ignore these feelings, if you ignore whatever's bringing you down or making you feel overwhelmed or guilty or ashamed, it will stay in your energetic field and in your body waiting to be seen. So if something happens to you and then you just ignore it, pretend it doesn't happen, you're like pushing it down, it's still there, right? That energy still exists. And until you acknowledge it, much like a child who wants your attention is like pulling at your skirt or at your shirt and be like, mommy, look at me. Every energy, every emotion, every thing wants that validation and acknowledgement. And so if there is an emotion that we don't want to face or deal with or we want to avoid, and therefore we set it aside, it will continue in our energetic field until we address it, until we allow it to be, and then it can move on. Then it can be transmuted, right? And it's just information. Feelings are simply information. It is just telling you whether or not you are connected and in alignment with your higher self or not, or whether your situation is connected or not, okay? All right, so because of this is one of the first tools we talk about and do together on this show, right? The first ritual, where we can address stuck and stagnant energy and focus on releasing anything that doesn't serve you. So, which we will do today, our breathing, our stretching, our shaking it out. That is us acknowledging the energy that is within our energetic field that is stuck, stagnant, creating tension, that is hindering your flow in some way. So that's why we do it as a practice every day that I show up here, and I encourage you to do it every day, or however many times a day you need to get yourself back to your grounded place, okay? So depending on what you're feeling, or what is going on in your life, you may have to consider different ways of managing this energy, whatever it is that you're feeling, right? And many of those options we've been talking about this week and are listed in the Me First free guide, which is the guide for simple transformation practices. And they were listed in the previous show about creating your spiritual toolkit. And I have the link below in the description. So if you want to go check out that show where I talk a little bit more about other tools that you can use to shift and calibrate your energy, you can go ahead and look at that show, or you can download the free Me First TV guide with simple transformation practices. And again, that's also in the description. And that is just like a little 5-page reference guide that includes how to calibrate your energy, the Me First moments rituals, a quick GPS activity, the daily ABCs, and a simple guide to managing stress. All right, but today, one of the methods that we're going to talk about in terms of calibrating your energy involves journaling. So even though I find myself resisting journaling as a practice, I don't know about you, but in the coaching world, most definitely journaling is one of those things that we always talk about and is encouraged. And I really do just resist it. But when I don't resist it and I actually sit down and do some journaling, I find that it can be very effective to work out things like blocks or limiting beliefs or mind loops caused by anxiety, right? Where you're just kind of like going and going and going. You need to just like get the stuff out of your head and onto paper and work it out. And it is really, really helpful in order for you to be able to get a handle on your next steps. Because if it's all in here, you're just thinking. Now, I know that for me personally, that's an ADHD thing. If I spend too much time ruminating in my head and I really need to make a decision, I have to take it out of my brain, do like a brain dump or do some journaling and get it out on paper. Right? So that's my suggestion to you, and that's what we're going to talk about today. But we're going to talk about 3 specific questions in relation to getting you on track with your journey for Me First, right? In getting yourself to a place where you take yourself and your needs into consideration and where you can sort of tune your instrument, calibrate your energy so that you are better prepared and have a stronger foundation with which to navigate the challenges of the world, which are inevitably going to show up at your door one way or another, all right? So before we talk about that, please go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go to @MeFirstTV. Just go to YouTube and just do the little @ MeFirstTV. I'll show up. You just subscribe and then ding that little bell so that you get notifications when I go live. And please, please feel free to spread the word to anyone who you feel may benefit from this content. I hope it's helpful. All right, so let's begin with our Me First ritual. So we're going to start by lighting our candle. And like I said, and how I talk about on this show, we do this ritual every time because this is one way to just get grounded, get into that space. I have to get a new essential oils thing here, which I keep forgetting because this is in my office downstairs. And after my show, I go upstairs and then don't come back down until the next day when I do my show. So this is why every time I come here, I realize what I don't have. ADHD. Oh, all right. So we're going to take 3 deep breaths together and get ourselves grounded. And we're going to do these 3 deep breaths and this little ritual that we do. It's just a few minutes. And I find it's really effective if you need to quickly ground yourself, if you're overwhelmed, if you're stressed, and you just need to sort of like get back into your body, get back into yourself. This little exercise is great. So we're going to do 3 deep breaths. First, you're going to take a deep breath in, and I want you to really take a deep breath to increase that capacity. And then I want you to hold that breath to continue feeling that increased capacity. I want you to feel the light filling your body, okay? And then I want you to exhale with pursed lips, and that exhale is going to take longer than that inhale. So we're going to do 5 seconds inhale, hold for 5, and then release for 10. This will give your body sort of a relaxed, or a message that it's time to relax and that you can sort of calm down, so that we can begin. Okay, so here we go. 3 deep breaths. First one, take a deep breath in. Hold. And release. Okay, deep breath in again. In through the nose. Okay, and hold. We want to increase our lung capacity. We want to feel that beautiful healing light filling our body, and then release. We want to release any stuck, stagnant, or tense energy, okay? We're going to do one last big breath, and then we're going to do a little stretching, okay? Here we go. One last big breath, make it count. Really, really big breath, okay? Hold. And release. Okay, now we're going to do some stretching. And once again, if you're on your own, you want to do a little more stretching, you want to do an actual stretching routine or do some yoga, I recommend it. The more you do, the better you'll feel. But I like to keep things short and sweet to show you that it doesn't take much time. It just takes a couple of minutes, a few deep breaths, a little stretching to release that stuck, stagnant energy in your body. Okay, and breathe into those places where you feel tension or pain, right? So when I go like this, I feel the tension. And then release. And if you can visualize as you release, if you can visualize that tension just leaving your body and let Mother Nature or the divine take that energy and transmute it into something beautiful and productive that the earth needs, okay? All right. There we go. And now we're going to shake it out. Shake, 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 shake. Okay. Right. And this, you can shake, you can dance. You know, the idea is just you want to sort of shake off that energy. You want to get your body engaged. You want to feel your body, be in your body. That's what this is about. It's connecting your breath. It's connecting your mind, your body, and your soul. Right. And once you're in, you're in. Okay. And now we're going to say our little prayer and ask for support from our spiritual support team. Whatever that means to you, you can call in for God's support, angels, a loved one that has passed. I say a little prayer and basically call for everyone to come and support me because, you know, I could use all the help. I willingly accept all the help. And so I call in for everyone to come. And you can just sit and listen to this prayer and have it apply for yourself as well. Say your own prayer or just sit in silence and set the intention of what kind of support you may need. Okay? All right. Divine Mother, Infinite Father, Creator, Ascended Masters, Archangels, Spirit Guides, Ancestors, my love, and all beings of 100% pure white light, allow me to be a clear and open channel of your light and love without hesitation or ego. May the highest vibration of infinite consciousness connect with my higher self and release any and all things that no longer serve me. I ask that Saint Germain and his infinitely powerful violet flame burn away all the things that no longer serve myself or humanity and hold us back from our divine existence. Help us to embody our intentions for the day and help us raise the collective vibration for the highest and greatest good of all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it, and so it is. Okay. Well, okay, so what happens when you are just stuck in analysis paralysis and don't know what to do? So, you know, at the beginning I was talking about how I've been there. I'm there quite often. And, a little bit of that, of course, for me personally, is connected to my ADHD. And so I get easily overwhelmed and I have a hard time figuring out what to do next. And I think that's a little bit of what helped me create this Me First process, which is very systematic, because it helped me have a system that I can use when I feel out of touch or disconnected and I feel like I don't know what to do. I go back to this practice. I go back to this habit. And the more you practice getting yourself back into your body, the more you practice getting grounded, the more you practice living that GPS word or embodying what's important to you, the better you'll get, the easier it'll be. And whenever challenges show up, they don't stop showing up. You will have challenges for the rest of your life as long as you're living, because we live on a planet that, has things and people and things happen. But you will have a much better idea of how to navigate through it once you start practicing these tools. Okay? All right. So if you've been watching the show, right? So we're talking about what happens when you're stuck in analysis paralysis. And if you've been watching, my first recommendation is what we just did, right? Begin with taking a few deep breaths. Get into your body. Stretch and shake. If you can, go outside and get your bare feet on the grass. And I'm pointing this way because I have my grass right over here because I'm in my basement. And so there's grass right out here. And get grounded in the earth, right? And if you don't have grass around you, just put your feet on whatever ground you can get on and just feel that connection. Just get your body connected to the earth in whatever way you can, right? That is the first thing you do. Once you are grounded and in your body, and if you're an overthinker like me, you need to ask yourself a few questions to get your bearings, to connect with your inner guidance, and get clear on what your next step is. And so I actually put together little cards to show you what the questions are. So let's start with the first question that I feel is important when you're stuck. Okay. Let's see here. There, let's see if this works. Does it work? Yay! Okay, it worked. All right, so question number 1. The first thing I want you to ask yourself is, and this is connected to the GPS word, right? What feeling do you want to embody the most in your life? What feeling? And if you can jot this down in the comments, if you're here and watching, I would love that. I would love for you to share with me. What feeling do you want to embody the most in your life? Please go ahead and share that with me. Or just for yourself, if you're doing journaling, this is the GPS word, right? But this doesn't have to be like what the feeling is for the rest of your life, right? It can be for right now, even though this says like, what feeling do you want most to embody the most in your life? It's about the present moment, because what you need right now is what you have to address. What you may want later or what you may need later is for later. Right now, I want you to think about, in this moment, what feeling do you want to embody the most in your life, and jot that down. Okay? The second question: what is weighing on your heart? And further, what heaviness is preventing you from taking action to achieve that feeling, right? Because we all have things when, I was talking about my personal situation here and those times where I felt totally lost in analysis paralysis and not knowing what to do. And most of the times that in my personal life where I really got overwhelmed was, of course, in connection to my husband's health and when he was struggling. And so I had a lot of things weighing on my heart at that time because I didn't have a lot of answers. I didn't know what was going on or how best to manage things. And so I really had to think about the heaviness that was preventing me from taking action to achieve that feeling, right? But when you're in the thick of it, I'm going to just take this out for a second. When you're in the thick of things, right, it's really hard to get motivated or inspired to achieve your goals or your dreams. And that's why it's so important that you go through these questions, because I want you to really answer honestly for yourself. What is that heaviness? What is it that is preventing you from taking action on things that you may have a lot of clarity about what you want to do, or you may have a great vision about what you want to do in your life, and something is stopping you, or something is preventing you, or you feel a resistance to taking action or moving forward, or even making a decision. It's really important that you take some time and figure out, what is that heaviness that you're carrying? What is that weight? What is, the resistance is usually fear, right? So what is that fear about? You need to look at it. You need to name it. You need to acknowledge it, right? Because as I said earlier, you have to feel it to heal it. So take some time. And please, if you feel comfortable, I would love for you to share with me. I'm going to show the question again. What is weighing on your heart? And if you don't want to share on the show, that's okay. Or if you want to reach out to me privately and do this exercise with me privately, please feel free to reach out. So ask yourself, what heaviness is preventing you from taking action to achieve that feeling? So the feeling being the thing you want to feel most in your life, right? What's stopping you from feeling that? And I'm not going to give my own example. Well, I can say that, when I was struggling, the feeling that I wanted was, I wanted peace. I wanted to feel well-being. And so the fact that there was illness, it was very hard to feel well-being. But then what that meant for me in my journey that I'm sharing with you meant that I had to figure out how to embody well-being, how to create more well-being. What could I do to have well-being as an example in my life, even though there were things that were not going well, or there was a lack of health, right? What can I do? What can I contribute? That was my question. And so for you, I say the same thing, right? What heaviness is preventing you from taking action to achieve that feeling? And that leads us to the next question. What action can you take today to reduce or eliminate the heaviness, right? And that was my example that I just gave. There was nothing I could do to take away Scott's pain when he was suffering, but there were things that I could do to reduce it, or to reduce even the mental anguish that I felt while we were going through things. And for me personally, that was about trying to create little moments of joy for us. And even for Scott, one of the things that he did, and we loved like little foods and tasting things, and we were always very adventurous with stuff. And so Scott would order some interesting food from some different part of the world, and we would have food tastings. Even during that time that he was sick, we tried to like carve out these like moments of fun, these moments that felt like old moments that we'd experienced before, in the before times, before he was sick, before he wasn't doing well. And that's the kind of thing that you need to ask yourself and look into for yourself. And I'll put the question up again. What action can you take today to reduce, because you might not be able to eliminate it, to reduce or eliminate the heaviness? Or what action will create or allow the feeling you want most? So in my example, I was talking about well-being. So I had to think about, how can I contribute well-being? What can I do? So I would, have some healthy snacks on hand, or I would, make sure Scott had extra protein drinks, or whatever it was. When you're struggling with something and you can acknowledge what you're struggling with and validate that it's a struggle for you. On the other hand, how you can approach it. And one of the things that I really hope to teach you and to give you the skills for through this show, through the episodes of this show, is that then you need to figure out for yourself how you can shift that, how you can recalibrate your energy in order for you to be able to allow or welcome more of that feeling you want, and move away from or shift the feeling that you don't want. This is not about ignoring it. This is not about avoiding it. This is about transmuting that feeling. So like, oh, this is terrible. We're surrounded by illness. What do I wish? What feeling do I want most? Well-being or health. So then I had to show up with the idea of embodying health. So what could I do to bring more health? What could I do to bring more well-being? What steps could I take to create an environment full of well-being, even if we were dealing with illness? And so I encourage you to ask yourself these questions and do some journaling so that you can think for yourself, most importantly, this last one, right? Because when you take an action, then you are taking this energy out of just being this idea in your mind, and you are embodying it, bringing it into your body, right? Bringing it into your body and then coming up with the solution or embodying the solution. So this question is super important. What action can you take today to reduce or eliminate that heaviness? Or what action will create or allow the feeling you want most? And that is a question that only you can answer for yourself. But please, if you want to share with me, I would love to hear what that is for you. If you are looking for more support, please feel free to reach out to me through any of my social media channels. I am in the description. I have, Facebook. I have Twitter. I keep saying Twitter. It's not Twitter. I have Facebook. I have TikTok. I have Instagram. And I have, it's not Twitter. What's the new name? X. Whatever. Obviously, I'm not on it that much. I think so. Don't bother communicating me with through there. Go through Facebook or go through Instagram. Those are the best, right? Or TikTok is fine too. Okay. So now I'm just gonna pull a card, and we are going to wrap up the show. Like I said, if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Me First TV on YouTube. And now I'm just going to pull a card, and my question is simply going to be, what do we need to know to get clear and take action on our next step? Okay, so we're talking about today these journaling questions, right? What else does Spirit want us to know about these journaling questions? So thank you in advance for sharing your wisdom with the audience and giving us whatever message we need to hear for us to become more clear and confident and taking action moving forward towards our GPS word and that ideal feeling that will bring us a feeling of happiness and fulfillment. I mean, maybe happiness and fulfillment are your words. They could be, but if you're more specific, that's okay too. All right, here we go. All right. Look at this. This card is number 49, Talisman, right? So talisman, I love this because we were talking about being grounded, right? We were talking about getting in your body. So when we're talking about calibrating our energy, shifting how we look at things, when we're talking about our personal evolution and healing, a talisman is like an earthly object that we can hold on to. So it can help you in your practice to have something as a reference or something that can remind you to stay integrated, right? To remind you to have that feeling embodied. And I actually use talisman in my workshops. I talk about choosing something, an artifact or something, a picture, something that you can visually see or that you can hold on to that will constantly be a reminder of the GPS word, of the feeling that you are going for, so that you can, just by looking at this, you will be reminding yourself of what your true goal is. You will be reminding yourself, that's what I truly want, right? And it can be anything. You can grab a crystal and say, like, this crystal represents my happiness. And so you hold on to it, and every time you look at it, you go, okay, just got to remind myself, stay happy, stay focused, stay on target. So that seems to be Spirit's suggestion. And I actually like that because I do find it very helpful to bring things, because that's really what today is about with the journaling and with everything. It's like you have to bring things out of your head. We have spent so much time overthinking things, like at least my generation and certainly me as a person. We think everything's in the mind. Even we talk about coaching and psychology and therapy. It's a lot of talk, which is important. You have to talk about it. You have to see it. You have to heal it, But not even more important, but the next step after talking about it is embodying it, is bringing it into your actual life, okay? So let's go to what the card says here, because I want you to know. Okay, talisman. A lesson truly learned is crystallized as earned wisdom. You have all you need for the success you seek. Wisdom allows you to recognize traps on the road and familiar patterns that you want to avoid. It also enables you to quickly gather information about where you are on your journey. It helps you recognize your allies and know how to find the best routes along the way. Now you're at a place where you know the right things to do and the best choices to make. You really can't commit a mistake. Whatever your inquiry, great fortune awaits you, for you have the wisdom to arrive at the right decision. You've learned your lessons and earned the right to your success. Woohoo! Okay, I like that. I like that card, and I like you. I hope you have an amazing day. I will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Oh, tomorrow's Fun Friday. So I will be here to pull cards for anybody who hangs out live. I'll let you know when that's coming. I'll just post it on my social media because life's kind of crazy. I never know what time I'm going to show up. So, makes me spontaneous. So just, keep an eye out on my social media stuff. And I will see you tomorrow. Have a lovely day. I love you all.